Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. So today I want to do another baby update. I want to do my 20-week anatomy scan, like halfway point baby check-in with you guys. You guys are gonna have to forgive me. It is the end of a very long day. I had one of the most just very challenging parenting days today. So just give me some grace. I'm doing the best that I can here. If you guys happen to be new here, first of all, welcome. Like, I'm really glad that you're here. But in addition to being 21 weeks pregnant now with this little baby, I also have a 3 and a 5-year-old. So it's been just a stressful day. But here I am to give you guys an update. A lot of fun, exciting things are happening. So we'll go over just like symptoms, a couple new things that have kind of come up. I want to show you the baby pictures and talk about the anatomy scan, talk about, I guess, just overall this pregnancy. And I hope that you guys also are doing great if you're pregnant alongside me. Even if you're not, I'm still glad you're here watching this video, but I know that a lot of you guys are. I hope that your pregnancies are progressing well and that you're feeling good. I feel like at this point, I'm feeling good overall. Like, I feel like, you know, I'm having to do a lot of stuff. We're doing a lot of things right now because we're in the middle of moving out of state. And so like things with the move are happening real quick. You guys that watch the vlogs and stuff, you know. So I've been like extra stressed out, extra having to do a lot of stuff, moving stuff so that we could get our pictures of the house taken. I have worked myself harder, I think, than I have in a long time. And I appreciate you guys who will comment in the comments on my vlogs and stuff saying like, you got to take it easy. Like, I know that, but I haven't really been able to, given that I still have to parent my other kids and I have, you know, like these big life changes happening. So like today, after a very busy weekend of like, you know, keeping the house clean for the showings and stuff, I just allowed myself to, for the most part, rest. Like, I was still busy doing stuff, but I was sitting on the couch a lot. I was drinking a lot of water because I know that at this point, like, I'm feeling real tired. So I definitely don't have the endurance that I used to have. Not that I ever really had a whole lot of endurance, but I know that I need to take it easy. And I know that the further that I get into this pregnancy, the more I'm gonna feel it. I'll show you my baby bump, but like right now, even it is, what time it is? It's 8:30. And I'm starting to feel like really like tight on my stomach. So the rest of the night's gonna be me in that bed. It looks very appealing after I finish filming this video. But really, other than just being overall tired and just feeling humongous, like, I can't say that I feel bad. I'm not like sick. I've told you guys that throughout this pregnancy, I have never like thrown up. But I guess we'll just like get into symptoms really quick. I think I'm starting to have a little bit more heartburn than usual. I don't know if it's just now like the size of the baby or like the way that my intestines are moving around, or I don't know what. But the last few days I found myself just kind of, especially like at the end of the day, like I have a lot of gas. I have like a lot of gas pains, and then like I feel like there's like food up here and like the pit, like right under my boobs, almost like in my rib cage area. I don't know proper anatomy, so you're gonna have to forgive me. But in this area up here, I just feel like there's something going on. And so I don't know if it's something that I'm eating or if it's something that, you know, just from all the stuff that I've had going on. But that's something that I'm noticing. Other things that I have noticed big time lately, my skin has broken out worse than it has in forever, you guys. So if you're dealing with like pregnancy acne and your skin is like flaring up, like that's not fun. Like, I'm feeling it. Maybe right now you can't tell because I have, you know, like foundation on and stuff, but I've had like huge breakouts. I had like one huge pimple that came out of my nose. And then on top of that, like, it's not just my face area, but also like my body is breaking out. Like, I get a lot of breakouts, and I used to when I was a teenager. Like, it's been a long time since it's been like a thing, but now during this pregnancy, like in my chest area, I'll have tons of breakouts. In my back, I'll have breakouts. So like, that's not really fun, especially now that like summer is around the corner, you know, spring and summer. I'm gonna be dealing with that. Again, I will gladly deal with it, given, you know, that this pregnancy is a blessing. I'm happy to deal with that, but it's just like one of those annoying things. And I guess it's just like hormones. And then you guys keep asking and bringing up the whole, like, is it a boy, is it a girl? I told you guys that we are not finding out, it's a surprise. But the only reason why I'm inclined to kind of say that perhaps it's a girl is because of that acne. Like, I don't remember having that with Jackson in my previous pregnancy. So I don't know if that's a girl thing, but then some of you guys are like, no, I was pregnant with a boy and I broke out a ton. So I don't know. Like, I don't know that there's any way to really know other than to actually ask the ultrasound technician or to get the blood test. So we will find out in 20 more weeks, God willing, what I'm having. But that's just been like a symptom. Another really like annoying symptom has been my gums. My gums have been really sensitive and like almost inflamed. And I know that that's common in pregnancy, that your gums are like really sensitive and you can be more prone to bleeding. But recently I've started to notice that. Like when I run my tongue across, you know, like my gums and my teeth, I'm like, oh, like this feels like there's some extra padding there that wasn't there before. So it's kind of weird. I'm also already shedding like crazy. I don't think that's a good sign because I think that that means I'm gonna be freaking bald postpartum. Anytime that I brush my hair, you guys, like chunks of hair like come out of my hair. So I don't have high hopes for postpartum. I absolutely am gonna have to deal with a lot of postpartum hair loss, but I didn't realize that even in pregnancy sometimes too you can be losing your hair, so that is fun. Still also dealing with some like constipation, digestive issues. Sometimes I'm constipated, other times I eat something, it upsets my stomach and I have to be in the bathroom for hours, TMI. But there's a lot of stuff happening there, like I've said before, so it's not like surprising. But I haven't had to like take any medication yet or, you know, like deal with it in any specific way. I haven't had to take anything. It's kind of been like a every once in a while kind of thing. So not something that I'm willing to take medicine for at the moment. Like if something gets really bad, then I'll take medicine. But if not, then I'm okay with just holding off. I don't think I've shared yet that I am taking prenatals. I'm taking the Ritual prenatals, and this isn't like sponsored by them. I've been taking the Ritual prenatal vitamins ever since like we were off of birth control and there was a chance that maybe I could get pregnant. It's always a good idea to start having the prenatal vitamins in your body before you get pregnant. I think that there's a reason for that. Something about like the, you know, the nutrients that your body has at the time of like when you're actually conceiving, that's good. So I've been taking those and I haven't had any kind of issue with them. They have a lot of really good stuff in them. So that's what I'm taking, but that's really it in terms of like supplements or vitamins, nutrients. That's all I'm taking. I have also not gained a ton of weight. So I'm gonna talk about my anatomy scan visit and stuff, but the doctor told me that I was still doing fine with my weight. But I think before I got pregnant, I was like, maybe the lowest I was, I think I told you guys was like maybe 135. Right now I'm at like 140, 141. So I think that's a decent amount of weight, not like a ton. So I feel like now in the last half of the pregnancy, that's usually when I blow up. That's usually when I see a lot of weight like towards the end. So I think she said on average, she sees people, I think she said like gain between like 1 and 4 pounds every month. I think that was like the average. So I was kind of like at 2-ish. So whatever, I'm still like within the window of where she was happy with my weight. So I'm not really too concerned about that. I've been craving mac and cheese lately, just mac and cheese for some reason, Annie's mac and cheese. That's what I've been eating a ton of. I would love to know what your pregnancy cravings have been. Like anybody here liking like the, you know, the stereotypical like pickles with the ice cream. If any of you guys have like a weird craving, please let me know because I haven't had anything weird. I just want like ice cream and donuts and mac and cheese for some reason. So now let me just talk about the anatomy scan visit. So the anatomy scan visit is always pretty stressful, pretty like, you know, the anticipation building up to it is a lot because that's the scan where they're really checking all of the full-on anatomy. They're checking everything about the baby from like, you know, like the bones and the arms to the hands to the brain to the heart, chambers of the heart. It's very intense and it can be a little bit scary because, you know, you're obviously hoping for the best, but God forbid you get some scary news. Like it can be a lot to take in. So I was already like a little bit, you know, like anxious about the whole anatomy scan. And then I was further anxious because of the fact that I had to break up the anatomy scan into 2 different doctor's appointments. So on a Monday, I went in and I had to go to like an imaging center, not my actual OB. I had to go to an imaging center for them to do the scan. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with doctor's offices, or if you're familiar with OB practices. I don't think this happens all the time, but more and more what I think a lot of people are seeing is that sometimes like for your scans, like for the ultrasounds, it's not done like at the OB's office, which again, I think it should be, but whatever. Sometimes they send you to like an outside facility. And if it's an outside facility, a lot of times the ultrasound techs are like trained to not really give you a lot of feedback on like what they're seeing. They're just kind of there to, you know, take the pictures and take the measurements, but they're not supposed to tell you like, oh, baby looks great, everything is fine, you have nothing to worry about, because that's not maybe necessarily their job, or they're scared they're gonna say the wrong thing and then they're gonna get sued or get in trouble. It's like a whole thing. And obviously as a patient, that sucks, because all you wanna do is like, you're seeing your baby on the screen, you want to be told like, yes, everything is okay. You want to have like some of that reassurance. So when you have it somewhere where they don't give you that reassurance, it's very stressful, because you're like, what does this silence mean? Like, why are you not saying anything? You know, and you have all these things running through your brain. So that was kind of my experience on the day that I went into that office. It also made it worse because, I mean, I was very gracious towards the staff, because like when I went in, what happened was they had like an ultrasound tech student that was there. And then there was also a like more veteran, you know, ultrasound tech like watching her. But they asked me like, do you mind if the student does the scan? And I was like, well, I don't mind. Like, obviously they have to learn somehow. I felt comfortable, obviously, because the more experienced tech was alongside her, was like watching her and was critiquing her and was telling her like, no, you need to get a better picture of this, or you need to get a better picture of that. But it took forever, because God bless her. Like, again, I was trying to be really gracious to her. Obviously she's learning and she's new at this, but there were a lot of like the measurements and the pictures that they're required to get that she couldn't get, or she would take it, or she couldn't find like the right angle to get the picture, and I'm just laying there and I had to move positions like 500,000 times, because after a while of like laying on your back on the little thing, like you get uncomfortable. So I was like, can I please move? And I started like repositioning myself. After a very long time of the poor girl trying to get pictures, eventually the veteran tech took over and was like, okay, I'm gonna take over from here so we can kind of like finish up, because I think she saw how uncomfortable I was. But they were able to get all the pictures, which I was happy about, despite how long it took. Whatever, they were able to get all the angles that they needed, which was great, because a lot of times you'll go in for your anatomy scan and it's not uncommon for them to not be able to get all of the images that they need. So sometimes like patients have to come back. So if that happens to you, don't freak out. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong. It just means that like they need to get a better picture. But like for me, it was taking them a really long time to get a picture of like the 4-chamber heart. And again, there's just like a lot of awkward silence, and they're like, no, that's not it, that's not it. And I'm going, oh my God, does my child have a heart? Does my child have 4 chambers? Like, I'm freaking out, all of these things, and they couldn't really tell me anything. You know, I tried to kind of be like everything's okay, and like they wouldn't like give me a straight up answer. So the anatomy scan is not the best, but I did get pictures. I got some pictures of the little baby, and I'll show you those here. So that is baby, and I'm really glad that we got some profile pictures just so that I could, you know, take a look at those. This was a picture of the baby yawning, which is the cutest thing. I saw hands, I saw, you know, legs and limbs. And during the ultrasound, by the way, like I did tell them, I don't want to know if baby's a boy or girl. So there were times in the ultrasound where they had to like turn off the screen, and the ultrasound tech was really good. She was like, you know, okay, we're gonna look through the legs now at this area. Like I'm gonna do the leg area, so I'm gonna turn off the screen. So I'm trying really hard to not know what it is. But I was obviously happy to see the pictures, saw the heartbeat. I think the heartbeat was 152 beats a minute, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. And then the only other information that I got that day was that when I went in for the scan, I was 20 weeks and 1 day, I'm pretty sure. And they told me that baby was measuring like 20 weeks and 3 days. So right on track. And then also that baby was weighing 14 ounces. So just a little bit less than a pound at that scan. So that was like the feedback I took from the scan day. And then the next day I went to meet with my OB, and that's when she went over the actual results, because I think it's like a radiologist that looks at it and then like provides a report. But long story short, everything on the scan looked great. So I was very happy, relieved. Thank the Lord that baby looks like, you know, baby's doing good. One of the biggest concerns going into the anatomy scan for me was making sure that my cervical length, like the length of my cervix, was good, because with Jackson I had the short cervix issue, and we identified that issue at the ultrasound, at the 20-week ultrasound with Jackson. And so after that is when, like, you know, I kind of started freaking out about the fact that I had a short cervix and all the things that come with that. So getting back the results from this scan, my cervix looks good, which I was, again, very happy about. Doctor said that the cervix looks long and closed, I think is what she told me. So I will take long and closed, hoping that it stays that way. And, you know, all of the amniotic fluid and all of the other things that they check were good. I think the biggest thing though, since like the last update, would have to be just the fact that now I'm finally feeling baby move inside my belly. And it is great, because I've told you guys that I have an anterior placenta. It really wasn't until maybe week 19 that I started to feel actual, like, little tiny bits of movement. And then by 20 weeks, it was a lot more like, okay, like, that's definitely baby, like, moving around in there, kicking. When we were doing the scan, the 20-week scan, the whole time that the ultrasound tech was like moving around and moving the thing so she could see the baby and all the pictures, I could feel the baby moving, and then I would see it on the screen and you would see the baby like moving around. So it was really reassuring to finally feel the movement. And so now, just on a daily basis, I don't feel the baby moving all the time, but in those moments, especially like towards the end of the night, where I'll sit on the couch or I'll lay on my side, or when I'm going to bed and I'm laying down on my side, that's when I'm feeling more movement. I still don't think it's as strong of movements as I felt with my other two kids, because of that anterior placenta that kind of acts as like a little bit of a barrier in terms of like the kicking and the motion. Maybe that'll change like as time goes by and baby gets bigger, and, you know, later on in the pregnancy I'll feel like those actual, like those alien kicks when the babies are like really stretching and like you feel like the baby's like foot all up against your belly. Maybe we'll get there, but as of right now, it's just more, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's more like little kicks and like little punches that I feel. There have been some times when like the baby's like, I don't know, in the wrong position or something, or like I feel a kick and instantly it goes to my bladder and I'm like, oh my God, this baby's gonna make me pee. So I can't even imagine later on in like a few weeks, I'm sure that I'm gonna probably freaking pee my pants. Everything is good, and I have no complaints. When I went to that appointment for the result of the scan, I did tell them that I'm going to be moving out of state. So I told them, you know, that obviously I've had a good experience, but we're moving back to Miami. So I called the doctor that delivered Jackson and Riley in Miami, and they seemed willing to take me back into the practice. I told them like I'm moving back home. Like the only reason I left you guys was because I left to Virginia. So they're going to take me back in. It seems like so far, it seems like they've registered me in their system. They just wanted me to have my records transferred from this Virginia practice to them. So today, actually, I went online and filled out like a medical release form so that they can get my records. And then I'm not sure if I'm gonna have one more appointment here before we leave, or if I'm just gonna schedule my 24-week appointment in Miami. But I'm glad that it's at the moment looking like I'm not gonna have to like, you know, panic, find a new practice and like kind of start from scratch, because I'm sure that that's really stressful. And like, if you've had to do it before, I'm really sorry, because that was not something that I was really looking forward to. Like, I thought I was gonna call them and they were gonna be like instantly like, no, we're not taking any new patients, because apparently there's a lot of practices now that are like not taking new patients. And like, what are you supposed to do if you're a new patient? Like, where are you supposed to go if nobody takes new patients? Like, seriously, what are you supposed to do? Like, at that point, you don't get care, or like you have to go to a midwife. Like, what's the deal? What is the situation? I don't understand how that's happening. So if you're dealing with craziness like that and, you know, the logistics of doctors, I'm very sorry. The only thing I have to say about these pictures, you guys, of the baby, is that this baby's profile looks very much like Jackson. this baby's profile looks very much like, it reminds me of the profile that Jackson had. I mean, I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if that means that's a boy profile or girl profile, but maybe I have a girl that just has a lot of the same features that Jackson had. I don't know. I literally have no clue whatsoever, but that profile reminded me of some of the pictures that I got with Jackson when I was pregnant. So let me show you my bump. I'm just gonna kind of show you here. I'm still in my pajama pants, do not judge me. And I have like this tank top underneath everything that I wear. That is my belly, you guys. This is 21 weeks. So yesterday I turned 21 weeks. And that's where we're at. I did ask the doctor when I went in about exercising because, you know, like I've told you guys, like I'm scared to work out because I've never been a workout person. So I just like cleared it with her. And she told me that exercise is absolutely okay. As long as you're not doing anything crazy, don't be horseback riding because you could fall off the horse, hurt the baby, nothing that like, you know, you could fall and get hurt. Obviously, no starting up CrossFit. I told her you do not have to worry about that because that is not on my horizons. I just want to do like some arm weights, maybe some squats. She said if I wanted to work on my core, not to do like crunches, but that I could do planks. Planks are really good for the core. I will tell you I'm very proud of myself because this weekend we went to the zoo. I took the kids to the zoo and we walked so much at the freaking zoo, between walking from the parking lot to the actual zoo and like walking around the whole zoo. I was there with like, I had like a tight fitting like turtleneck with like, you know, it was like tied up against my belly. So I was walking around there like waddling like this very pregnant lady. A lot of people were looking at me. But I didn't care. Like I was just like trying to enjoy the day, but I was very, very tired. We walked a lot to like even today. That was on Saturday. Today's Monday. My calves are killing me. My whole body is like sore. Like I worked out for 3 days straight. So I'm sure that I could use a little bit more of like regular working out. I think it's going to be good for me. It'll be good for just, I need to have some endurance when this baby comes out, because then at that point I have 3 kids to keep up with. I'd love to prioritize that in my day just a little bit to just get a little bit of that in. I have yet to start going through a lot of the things that I need to like get for the baby. I have yet to go through like the baby's, like Riley and Jackson's old clothes and like haven't started to separate that stuff. So that's in like my plan for like the next maybe month or so. Like before we leave, before we move out of this house, I would like to have gone through the kids' old baby clothes. So that's something that I'm trying to prioritize. That way I have just like a few things. It's not even like I need like a lot of things, but I need at least a couple of like those newborn things. Looking for things that are like more gender neutral for the newborn phase. I do have a bunch of toys for the baby. So toys, the baby is set. We've been like decluttering and stuff, and we even went down to the basement and decluttered a bunch more of like the kids' toys. But I had a bin that I had saved of a lot of the kids' old just like the crinkly toys. And like it's funny because like I'll bring them out here very soon, and maybe you guys will recognize them from when Jackson used to play with them or when Riley used to play with them. So some of those toys that are more sentimental, they were perfect. They were in good condition, so I kept them for this baby. And then I also have a lot of the Love Every Play kits. I didn't keep every single piece from every single kit, but the ones that I thought were gonna be the best for the baby, I kept. So we have a lot of those like wooden Montessori toys for the baby. I even have the Love Every play mats, like the little, what do you call it? I think it's just like some kind of like play mat. Unless I get it out of the box and it's ruined somehow, I'm gonna use that for the baby. And then the other thing that I didn't remember, like I have to go and check to see if I actually do have a car seat for this child, because I forgot that car seats expire. And that's like something that I need to obviously like focus on, like worry about, because that's like a serious thing. I take car seat safety very seriously. Like Jackson is literally over 3 years old and he's still facing backwards. He's still rear facing. He's tiny and I'm like very paranoid about kids in the car seat. So I need to make sure that the kids' old baby infant car seat is not expired. If not, I do have to buy a new one. But I'm really waiting until we get into our new house, or at least make it down to Miami before getting into full-on nesting mode. Because I mean, there's no point in me getting into nesting mode or starting to do too much of like ordering things for the baby. I can't set up a nursery here. We're literally moving here, you guys, in less than a month. It is insane. Today is March 20th. Like in less than a month, we will be in Miami in temporary housing at the very least, but we'll be in temporary housing until we find our house in Miami. The kids, by the way, have been loving this. The kids have been the sweetest to the baby. We pray every night as a family, and the kids every single night, it's the cutest thing. They'll pray for the baby in mama's belly, and it just melts my heart. It is so nice to hear them say that. Riley keeps trying to name this child. Riley keeps trying to say, if it's a girl, like she's been listening to this story on her Tony box, and I think it's Anne of Green Gables. I want to say that's the story that she listens to. So she'll be listening to it with her headphones on, and she'll be like, if the baby's a girl, can we name her Cordelia? I'm like, no, we can't name her that. And just like random things, and she'll be like, can we name her this? And I'm like, listen, lady, like, I love you. I love your little face dearly, but you're not naming this child. But it's cute, like, to see that she's excited about it. Both the kids will like come over and kiss my belly, which is really sweet. Jackson, I feel, again, Jackson's gonna probably have a really hard time with it. Like, the more that I think about it, Jackson's gonna have a hard time when this baby gets here, because he is so clingy. He is so attached to me, and I love it. I mean, I wouldn't change that for a thing. It's the cutest to see how much he is obsessed with me. But I'm most anxious about like how he's gonna do when the baby gets here. And then on the topic of names, I don't know, like, I haven't even thought too much about names. Like, if it's a boy, I have a boy name. I have at least a first name. Middle name, I don't even know that I've like discussed the middle name with Joe or like gotten his like, okay. Like, we both agree on a first name for a boy. But if it's a girl, I don't even think we agree yet on like a first name or a second, you know, or a middle name. So yeah, again, just one of those things that keeps getting pushed and pushed, and we still have time, but eventually like Joe and I have to sit down and try to see if we can get on the same page for a girl name. I do have a couple videos here on my channel, by the way. If you look it up, like you can look up Kayla Buell baby names or something like that. And I think I filmed like a girl's name, like girls' names that I liked video. And then I also did like a video where I sat down with Joe and I reacted to certain names. We both reacted to names that you guys submitted last time when I was pregnant with Jackson. So it was like a bunch of boy names and like our reactions to those boy names. So maybe that's helpful, because I don't even know if I'm gonna have time to sit down and film one of those like baby names videos, because I don't even know what I like. I don't even know what my options are at this point, or what I'm gonna use, what I'm not gonna use. But that's really where we're at this point. I think that's a pretty decent update. I don't feel like a whole lot has changed since the last time, thank the Lord, right? Because I mean, obviously things could have changed, and it could have been not so great news that we got at the anatomy scan. We got great news at the anatomy scan. So we were obviously very grateful for that, and that things seem to be at this point right now, just kind of continuing along regular pace. I do owe you guys in one of my next vlogs, I'll probably like add it in there. I do owe you a little maternity haul, because I went to Target and I bought a few things, nothing crazy, but I did finally get like a pair of really nice maternity jeans, way better than the ones that I had gotten at Old Navy for like $6. They were maybe, I think they were on sale, so I paid less than $30 for them, which is still good for maternity jeans. And they were just like better, they fit me better than the ones that I got at Old Navy. And then I got like 2 long maxi dresses, really pretty. And I got like a jogger set. I got a couple things that I could wear. And then once I get to Miami, I'll see what else I need. Like if I need a pair of maternity shorts or maternity biker shorts, pick up a few more things, but I'll try to add that into my next video. I was really impressed. I went to Target the other day and I was kid-free because Joe was with the kids. And I tried on just a few different things that they have. My Target does not have a very big maternity section, but the few things that I tried from the, I don't know, is it Isabel and something line? It's like their maternity line. I liked a lot of the stuff that they had, and for the most part, pretty reasonably priced. But other than that, I don't really have much else to say. So if there's anything else I can think of, I'll update you guys on in like another video. But thank you for being here. Thank you so much for all the prayers for baby, and just thanks for following along, and I hope you guys are doing great. So if you happen to be new here, please stick around. We'll be doing more of these updates, and you guys can just kind of like hang out with me and look at our crazy life like I always tell you. I like to do a lot of vlogs. There will be more baby content coming up. Once we finally get to the new place, we'll do some nesting and organizing. Like there's a lot to do, so I definitely have plenty of content that I can create. It's just having the time and the energy to do it all. So I love you guys. I really appreciate you being here. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, If you did enjoy it, it helps my channel big time, just like clicking the little thumbs up button. And like I said, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.